Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're building the ultimate modern growth playbook. We're going to pull together three worlds that might seem totally separate: the neuroscience of learning, the hard data of user analytics, and the grand architecture of business strategy. Our goal? To mash them all together into one powerful guide for leveling up. You know that feeling, right? Like you've just hit a wall. Whether it's in your career or your personal life, you know you've got more in the tank, but you just can't seem to break through. Well, that's exactly what this playbook is here to smash through. Let's get into it. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the most important piece, you. We'll upgrade your brain's operating system. From there, we'll zoom out to decode what your users are actually doing. Then, we'll learn how to connect with them on an emotional level, turn that into high-impact campaigns, and finally, architect your entire business for growth that lasts. Look, any growth that really matters, whether it's for you or your business, starts right here, inside your own head. Before you can grow anything else, you've got to upgrade your own ability to learn, adapt, and see things clearly. This is the bedrock for everything else. So what's really going on up there when we're trying to learn something new? Well, it basically boils down to three big ideas. First, neuroplasticity, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain can literally rewire itself. Second, focus. It's like a muscle. Powerful, but it gets tired and needs rest. And third, memory. The whole magic trick of turning a fleeting thought into knowledge that sticks. Get these three things and you're already learning way smarter, not harder. And here's the best part. You can totally hack these systems. These aren't just abstract theories, they're actual tools. So instead of that all-night cram session, try space learning. Give your brain time to breathe. Instead of just reading your notes over and over, use active recall. Force your brain to pull the info out. You can even just try teaching it to someone else, or, get this, getting a good night's sleep. It all works wonders. Let's meet our friend Alex. He had to learn 20 new words in a week. The old Alex would have crammed the night before. But new Alex, he used spaced learning. He studied on day 1, then used active recall to test himself on day 3. And on day 5, he actually used the words. And the result? He didn't just memorize them, he knew them, retaining 95%. That's the power of working with your brain. Okay, so we've just upgraded our own internal operating system. That's huge. But how do we apply that same learning mindset to understand our customers? Well, we use a different tool. It's not neuroscience this time, it's data. It's time to decode what your users are actually doing. In the world of analytics, especially with tools like Google Analytics 4, everything comes down to one simple idea: an event. And it's exactly what it sounds like. An event is just any interaction someone has with your site or app. A click is an event. A scroll is an event. Filling out a form is an event. Tracking these is like creating a map of their journey, step by step. Now, GA4 kinda sorts these events for you. You've got your automatic stuff that it just tracks for you, and some recommended ones for common things like adding to a cart. But here's where the magic really happens: custom events. This is where you get to decide what's important. You can track the clicks on the one button that matters most to your business. That's the real power. Let's check back in with Alex. He's running an online workshop, and he's got a problem. 1,000 people are visiting his page, which is great, but only 200 are actually signing up. Where did the other 800 people go? By setting up a few custom events, he followed their tracks, and the data told him exactly where the leak was. People were giving up right in the middle of his super long sign-up form. That was the bottleneck. And this is why it all matters. Once he saw the problem, the fix was easy. He just simplified the form, and boom, his conversion rate jumped by 30%. That is a massive, tangible win, all from just listening to what the data was trying to tell him. Okay, so data is amazing. It tells us what people are doing. But if you really want to know why they're doing it, you have to go a layer deeper. You have to move past the numbers and connect with real human emotion. This is where the true art of persuasion comes in. Marketers have known this forever, right? Logic is great, but emotion is what actually gets people to act. You can tap into positive feelings, joy, pride, excitement, to sell things like travel or luxury goods. Or you can address negative feelings, fear, frustration, to sell solutions like insurance or security systems. Both are incredibly powerful levers to pull. Check out this brilliant example from a coffee brand. For a campaign, they didn't talk about their beans or their special brewing process. No, they told a story about how coffee fits into the life of a family. They framed it as a simple gesture of care, and their tagline was just perfect. Every cup of coffee is a token of love. So, did it work? Oh, you bet it did. By tapping into that core emotion of love and gratitude, they saw a 35% spike in their gift box sales. It just goes to show a real emotional connection will beat a list of product features any day of the week. All right, let's do a quick recap. We have the internal mindset from upgrading our brain. We have the hard user data from analytics, and we have the emotional hook. It's time to put all these pieces together and execute campaigns that turn all that amazing insight into actual, real revenue. You see, the most successful campaigns are never just a one-and-done deal. They're a strategic plan with distinct phases. You start with a preheat phase to build buzz and get people excited. Then comes the peak phase. This is when you hit them with your main offer. And finally, you have a post-mortem phase to catch any last-minute shoppers with a clearance sale. It maximizes your impact every step of the way. And look who's back. It's Alex. He applied this exact phased approach to his holiday sale. He analyzed last year's data, created an emotional preheat campaign, and then launched a really strong offer during the peak. The result? A jaw-dropping 45% increase in revenue over the year before. That's what a well-planned, data-informed strategy gets you. A killer campaign is awesome. We all love a killer campaign, but we're talking about long-term, sustainable growth here. And for that, you need more than a single win. You need to build a solid architecture for your entire business. So let's pull the camera back one last time. This scaling up framework is super powerful because it simplifies things into 4 critical pillars you have to get right: people, strategy, execution, and cash. It makes you ask the tough questions. Do we have the right team? Is our strategy actually different? Or are we running smoothly? And do we have the money to fuel our growth? You gotta nail all 4. There's just no way around it. So how do you keep your whole team aligned on those 4 huge pillars? Well, one of the best tools out there is the one-page strategic plan. It sounds almost too simple, but it's genius. It forces you and your team to get crystal clear on your values, your goals, and your priorities, all on a single sheet of paper. For someone like Alex, this is the logical next step, from running great campaigns to building a truly scalable business. And there you have it. We've gone from hacking your own brain to decoding user data to connecting with human emotion, and finally, to architecting your entire business for the long haul. You now have the modern growth playbook. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?